Hello everyone, welcome back. So with this session we're gonna talk about pools, why we need pools, how to configure pools, and also the virtual servers. Previously, we started configuring the LTM by creating nodes. We created 3 nodes representing our servers, server 1, server 2, server 3. We have 3 web servers hosting the same application. We created a node for each server. And to remind you, the blue square means there is no health monitor. We did not associate any health monitor with the node. So the LTM currently is not checking on the node level. It's not checking the health of the server on the node level. Now what we need to do is we need to group the 3 servers in a single pool and say this pool will contain the 3 servers that are responsible about serving web application 1. So when users connect to LTM asking for web application 1, the LTM will select one of the 3 servers to serve the user. So if I draw it in whiteboard, so we have the LTM, and then we have node 1, node 2, node 3. What we are trying to do now is to have pool as a container for the 3 nodes, and we need to complete the picture, we need a virtual server. We need an IP address that users will connect to, and this virtual server is going to be associated with the pool, and the pool contain 3 nodes. So let's say, for example, if I have user 1 accessing the virtual server based on the load balancing method, and let's start with round robin. So let's say the load balancing method on the pool is round, which is first user go to first pool member, user 2 go to the second, user 3 go to the third, user 4 go back to the first, user 5 connecting to the virtual server go to node 2, user 6 connecting go to node 3, and so on and so forth. So round robin is like each user to server, like server 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is how we distribute the load. So the idea here is to associate nodes with a specific application to serve users. We need to create a virtual server. We need to create pool, link the virtual server to the pool, and of course make sure that the 3 nodes are member of the pool. Those are the 3 essential elements for load balancing: virtual server, pool, and nodes. Let's see that in action on our LTM. So we have the 3 nodes here, the node list. Let's go to pool list, create. I'm gonna call it pool web application 1. So what is the health monitor you want? How you want the pool to make sure that the 3 servers are available. Now, this is another level of health monitor. Previously, we have seen that we can do health monitor on node level. Now we are seeing it on pool level. It's a different health monitor. So again, if you go back to the node list, no health monitor associated. Click on the node default. Okay. Go back to the default monitor, no monitor. So this is on the node level. But on the pool level, it's always recommended to have the monitor. So let's associate HTTP. I want the LTM to query each server using HTTP port 80 and see if the server is responding on port 80. This is how I make sure the server is capable of serving my web application to the users. Load balancing, we said let's stick to the round robin now. Members, this is where we add members. Now, if you did not previously add pool members, if you did not previously create nodes, you can create them here. But because we already created, so I'm gonna go ahead and say node list, server 1 on port 80, add. Server 2 on port 80, add. Server 3 on port 80, add. Now we have properly configured pool. Click finish. In seconds, the pool should be green. The pool is green does not mean that all members are healthy. For the pool to be green, at least one member should be healthy. Now let's see how we can create a node inline within the pool creation. If I say pool test, no need to specify health monitor, it's fine. Node name, node test, address, any address, service port 80, click add. Click finish. So we have the pool test. It will continue to be blue because we did not associate health monitor. If you associate health monitor, this member does not exist. So if we associate health monitor, it should show as red. In few seconds, it should show as a red. Yeah, because there is no server with the IP address 88. Let's go to the node list. You can see the node automatically created. So let's just go ahead and delete. One more thing, you can always add nodes to the pool. Click on add, and we can add one of the servers that we used in another pool. So nothing prevent us from using one node in multiple pools. Now you see we have node test, which is a server does not exist, and we have node 81. Now the pool will be green because at least one member is there. So you can see that node 1 now is member of pool test, and node 1 is member of pool web application 1. This takes us to another interesting idea, that if you go to node 1 and select node specific monitor, and let's select ICMP. Click update. We know that when we ping 81, it will not respond because there is Windows firewall enabled on the server. We enabled ICMP as a monitor on the node level. Now the node is red. Because the node is red now, it will affect both pools. It is red in pool web application 1. It is red in pool test. So the monitor that you apply on the node level will affect this node within the context of all pools where this node is member. However, if I change it back, no monitor on the node level, so the node is back blue, here it should be back green, the same here should be back green. If I go to pool web application 1, instead of using HTTP, let's use the ICMP. The gateway ICMP is the same as ICMP, but the ICMP monitor we cannot use on the pool level. We use gateway ICMP on the pool level. That's the only difference. So we use on pool web application 1, we change the monitor type to be gateway ICMP. What do we expect now? We have 3 servers in pool web application 1. Server 2 and 3, we know that they will respond to the ping. But server 1 will not respond. So server 1 is down. So we have one node is down, mean cannot serve users. The same will be on pool test, or what? What do you think? No. Server 1 under the context of pool test, it's still using HTTP monitor. On pool test, we're still using HTTP monitor, so we are still able to query node 1 on port 80. But pool web application 1, it's using ICMP. That's why server 1 is out of service. If we go to server 1, quickly we can test. Turn off the firewall. That should bring the node or the pool member up. Yep. As I said, let's keep it off for time being. Keep it on, sorry. And on the pool, let's change it back to HTTP. So we have all members up. The second pool, no effect because we did not change anything here. That's for the pool level. Let's delete the pool test. We no longer need it. And let's delete the node that is not actually a server. Now, as we're done with the pool, we have a ready pool to serve users. What we need to do, we need to create a virtual server. We need to create the virtual server. Virtual server list is empty, so let's create. We call it VS Web Application 1. What is the IP address of the virtual server? 100.80. Whether you specify /32 or not, it will take it as /32. So it's optional. On which port? Should be port 80. Now, these two elements are the basic configuration for the virtual server. Plus, if you scroll down, the pool that we created. This is how we associate the virtual server with the pool. We click finish. Now the virtual server is up, showing as green, because the pool is green. As long as the pool associated with the virtual server is green, the virtual server will be green. If, for the sake of testing, I disable the 3 nodes, the pool will be gray. The virtual server will be gray as well. So it's a cascading effect. Enable, pool green, virtual server green. If the server itself, let's say server 1, disable the network adapter. So now on the pool, if we click on the pool, oh sorry, this virtual server, pool, one member should be red. Server 1 should go red. But the pool itself is still green. The virtual server is still green. Now if we repeat the same with servers 2, disable the network adapter. Server 3, disable the network adapter. So we brought the 3 servers down. Let's go to the pool, members. In a few seconds, we should see all members down. Now the pool is down. Now the virtual server is down as well. Let's bring it back. Yeah, give it a second and everything should be green again. So you can see that it's a cascading effect. If the node is affected, the pool member will be affected. If the pool completely down, the virtual server will be down. Now we have a virtual server up and running. This is the IP address. Now let's go to the testing machine and ping the virtual server, the IP address we just created, 100.80. So the virtual server is pingable, which is good. Let's test connecting to this virtual server. It is not connecting. So we can ping but we cannot browse. Give it another try. It will not work. Now, how to troubleshoot this? We need to test to see the servers. Let's go to server 1. Let's open the browser. Let's say 10.00.81, the local address. So the web service is working. This is our web application 1, same web application on all servers. The load balancing sent us to server 1. So ignore this message because we are testing from the same server, but the web page is working. Let's check on server 2. It's working. Let's check on server 3. It's working. So the web page seems working on each web server. Let's do one more test. On the CLI of the BigIB LTM, let's curl, use command curl 10.00.81. Yep, we can fetch the page. 82. Okay. 83. Okay. So between the LTM and the web servers, everything seems to be okay. Between the client and the virtual server, we can see ping, but we cannot browse. So how we can think about this? Let me use the whiteboard to visualize what we're having now and try to think about how to troubleshoot in such scenario. We have the BigIB LTM, and we have 10.0.0.81.82.83. The inside IP of the LTM is 10.0.0.1. The outside is 192.68.100.1. The client we are testing from is 192.168.100.15. The virtual server is 192.168.100.80. This is the virtual server that we are trying to connect from the client. Now, this virtual server is linked to the pool. So we expect when connecting to this virtual server, because we're using ground robin load balancing, we should hit server 1, another connection server 2, another connection server 3, but this is not happening. We are able to ping from the LTM to the servers, and we are able to ping from the client to the virtual server. Now, the inside side is working, the outside side is working, but together they are not working. On 10.00.81, when we receive the HTTP request, so let's say this client, this is the first connection, so the load balancing decided to send us to server 1. Now, when the packet hits server 1, the source IP is 100.15. If server 1 has no route back to this IP address, then server 1 will not be able to respond. When you ping from LTM to the server, the ping is sourced from 10.1 to 10.81. It's the same subnet, it will respond. When you ping from 115 to 180, it is the same subnet, so they will respond. But it seems the full path is not working, which signals either route issue on the client or route issue on the server. The client is connecting to an IP address on the same subnet, which is 100.80, so there shouldn't be a route problem, but the packet hitting the server 81, the source is 100.15, so we expect a routing problem on 100.81. Let's check this. If we go back to server 1, let's check the default gateway. Yeah, the default gateway is not configured. So let's configure it to be the inside IP address of the big IP. Let's do that on the 3 servers. Go back to the testing machine. Yep. So connecting to the virtual server now is fine. The load balancing algorithm sent us to server 1. Let's try different browser. We ended up on the same. Refresh a couple of times. Yeah. Now we are on server 3. If I open a new tab, 192.168.100.80, we're on server 3. If I click refresh a couple of times, yep, now we're on server 2. So we can see randomly the LTM will do load balancing between the 3 servers round robin, based on round robin algorithm, which means try to send equal number to each server. One user 1 to server 1, user 2 to server 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 1, and so on and so forth. Let's go to the pool. You can click on the pool and click statistics. Show me statistics on the pool. So we see equal, almost equal. It will not be always equal, but on the long term, even one is different, the LTM will try to bring them to an equal load, all of them. So we see the three servers are serving users. Now, if we go to the pool and let's disable node 1. Let's go back to the testing machine. We are on node 1. If we try to refresh, now we are on node 2. If we continually refresh, we will be balanced between server 2 and 3. There is no server 1. Why? Because server 1 is down. Let's go and disable server 2 as well. Go back to the testing. Now, no matter how much we refresh, we will stick to server 3 because server 3 is the only healthy server currently. Now let's go back to the slides. So we have seen how to create a pool, how to associate a monitor, health monitor with the pool, the load balancing method, how to add node from already existing nodes, or we can create a new node. What does it mean? Green means the node is healthy, red is node is offline. Now blue square means unmonitored, or there is no health monitor associated with the node. So the point here, even the node is unknown, when we have on the pool level the monitor is okay, then the pool member will be green. So we have seen that when we disable node, it will be disabled on the pool level. So it's cascading. If it is disabled on, if the node is disabled, or if the node is offline, or if the node is down, it will be reflected on the pool. But if the node is unknown, there is no health monitor, then the decision will be left to the pool monitor. So if the pool monitor is okay with the node on the pool level, it will be green. If it's not responding, if server 3 is not responding to the health monitor on the pool level, then it will be red. We tested disable and force offline. Disable, it will continue to process active connections. Any active connection that's currently, so if I go and disable server 1 and there is a user already working on server 1, the user will continue to work. Current active connections will continue to work until they time out. Persistent connections will also continue to work. Now, we don't know what is persistent connection yet, but keep in mind when you disable the node, persistent connections and active connection will continue to work, no new connection accepted. While force offline, only the current connections will be allowed to continue, not the persistent connection. Only the current connection, current active connections will continue to work, but new connections will be rejected. This is the difference between disable and force offline. Virtual server, we have seen how to create a virtual server, give it a name, give it an IP address, port, and associate the pool. Let's test now the source address. So the source address, this is where you can limit what source IP addresses can connect to the virtual server. For example, if you're creating a virtual server for web app 1 and you know that web app 1 is only used by HR people, you can list the subnet of HR people here. You can say 192.168 something.something/24 as a source address. So no other source subnet can connect to this. Let's just see this in the big IB. Let's go to our virtual server. You see, because we did not specify, it says any 000/0. Let's say 192.168.100.15/32. This is the IP address of our testing machine. Click update. That's okay. Let's close and start fresh. 192. So it's working just fine. We refresh. Go server 123, 123, which is fine. Now, if we change our IP address to be 14, try to refresh, unable to connect. On the virtual server, I make it 14, click update, now it will work. So this is how you can limit what source addresses can connect to the virtual server. This is not the best way, and this is not usually the way we do in production. In production environment, we use packet filters. We will talk about packet filters, but not in this course, in the LTM administration course. So this is all about the virtual servers. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next session.